everybody, what is up? My name is Mackenzie.
And I'm Jonathan.
We are husband and wife, and we'd like to welcome you to TerreDice.
And today we're taking you through the 4-part deck building universe of Dale of Merchants. Now, if you're not familiar with what a dale is, it's an old English word for a valley in between some hills.
It was my vocabulary word of the week. But no, really, Dale of Merchants is if you like the deck building of Dominion, if you like the asymmetric animals in Everdell, and if you like the player interaction in Villainous, this might be the game for you.
A game of Dale of Merchants starts by taking one more than the number of players of these animal decks, which you'll shuffle together to make up the market. You'll be trading goods with each of these sort of like animal clans, and you'll start with a deck of starter cards that will sort of inform your play style.
So a lot of the mechanics you're doing, you feel like that character or that animal would be doing those things.
You got like the raccoons who are all about sneaking around, shuffling mischief, and then also taking that top card off of your discard and saying, that's mine now. And then you got the observant owls who are all about these passive effects that they do on other people's turns. When you do that, I do this. And then you have the pandas who are deep in with the merchant guild. They know how to swap around that whole market and manipulate it the way they want. And lots of other just full range from aggressive to very sort of hand management, procurement, all the way through like luck and chaos with these fun dice. All right, so you got the deck building down, but to win this game, you are going to have to create 8 stacks in your stall, an increasing numeric value, starting from 1 point all the way up through 8 points of any matching suit in each stack. And once one player's done that, then it goes around and the game ends.
So like we said, Dale of Merchants comes in 4 parts, plus a mini expansion with the beavers. But where this is like Villainous is that all 4 of those parts, they can interact with each other. Purchased separately, but can interact with each other, or they can be played by themselves.
So here's one of these standalone games, Dale of Merchants 3, which features 6 different animals ranging from like super traditional deck buildery, I'm gonna mix my deck around, through like chaos. You got dice, you got stealing stuff, you got these crocodiles who are just mean. But I just love that in each of these you're gonna get a lot of variety. You could definitely start with this and have a whole lot of fun before heading over to the Dale of Merchants collection, which features all in all 27 animals across all of those games.
And this is all 4 combined, correct?
Yes, plus the beavers.
Yeah, plus the beavers. So this is everything, and it has a really nice organization system, which I love. I just love going through like little catalog system inside. It's really cool.
Yeah. Okay, so one thing when I see games like this, where you have a whole bunch of like big expansions, a whole bunch of characters, are you really gonna play with them all? That's usually the first question I have. Is it worth it to have that much content? And there's a reason that we're telling you about this game right now on our channel, and that is because this is one of the most impressively modular games that I think we've played recently. What I love most is this can be anyone's deck builder game. If you like deck building, but maybe you don't like that, take that. You don't like that, oh, you know, just because you did that on your turn, I'm gonna do this. Or maybe you want to have a lot of player interaction, or you want to have a lot of just chaos. You like dice, you don't know what's gonna happen when you play that card. This has every flavor of deck building you could hope for.
You have a wide variety of animals to choose from. Now you can pick them just on how they look. Then you can move up into what these animals actually do, which is in a compendium.
Yes, so if you have one of the small box ones, it has all the descriptions of the animals in the collection. They put together this whole big compendium of every animal. What I love is they give you enough that you can kind of guess how they're gonna play, but they don't give you all the specifics, so you're not caught up in the details of, well, I like that, but I don't like that. Like we have the sloths, so the diligent pale-throated sloths. Delayed actions, so they focus on efficiency in the long run. So you know, it's something about like what I do now affects what I do later. It also tells you when they're great for beginners or players wanting a more peaceful game, as well as like feeling lucky, or like use the crocodiles if you want interaction and conflict. And I really like that it gives you those keywords so you know what kind of game you're getting into before you pick those. There is one other really interesting thing that's in the collection box. There is this clock that goes between daytime and nighttime. So every time an effect is played, that clock ticks, and the bats, for instance, have way more powerful effects at night, so they're nocturnal. So you really time when you want to play those cards around those rounds where it gets to you and it's nighttime. So I just think that it's so cool how they've come up with so many different unique ways to use all this. There's also these character cards. So character cards, they're color-coded from easy to medium to hard, and they introduce all sorts of fun stuff from the super simple stuff like I just get a bigger deck, bigger hand size, up through like tech trees and like these tracks where you're tracking progress, or you have these different abilities. There's a sprinter card who is the ocelot, or the lynx? Yeah, the lynx. And he gets to sprint and get a bunch of stuff one round, but then he has to rest for 2 rounds before he can sprint again. And so they just do these really, really cool, unique things there.
So the designer of Dale of Merchants is Sammy Laxo, but not only is he the designer, he's also the illustrator for the game, which is like...
And like the graphic designer, the card text.
Yeah, amazing. And he owns a publishing company, so it just like blows my mind how much stuff he does. As game designers ourselves, I'm very impressed with all the work he has done for Dale of Merchants. And another thing on Dale of Merchants is this was my very first deck building game that I ever played.
It was several years ago.
Yeah. So the game came out in 2015.
15 was the very first one.
And the last one came out in 2020.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I played it like 2 or 3 years ago. It was my very first play of Dale of Merchants over at someone's house, and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, that was my very first experience with deck building. So there are 4 parts. Do you have a recommendation on which one, if you only get one, or start with one?
I mean, you can't go wrong with the classic. So the original collection had the pandas, who are really, really good. They're for messing with the market. But they also had the chameleons, who, and the raccoons. The raccoons steal stuff. But the chameleons are all about copying cards. Makes sense. So I just really liked that. There's some really cool, like, oh, this copies the top card and the discard, etc., etc. Really fun, kind of unique mechanics that I hadn't seen in a game before.
So my recommendation is I would start by buying one of the small boxes.
Yeah, less than 20 bucks.
Yeah, and if you like it, like really like it, then I would go ahead and do this. So that way you aren't buying a bunch of individuals and then upgrading to this.
Yeah.
I would buy one and then upgrade to this. The last thing I want to say is that we have not been doing a lot of individual reviews on this channel. We've been being a lot more exclusive on this channel for lists and different types of videos we put out. Yeah. So us doing a full review on Dale of Merchants is just to say how much we enjoy this game. Even though it is an older game, we think it deserves its place and that you should really go check it out. And it is available now. You don't have to wait for it like a Kickstarter. All right, everyone, and that is our review of Dale of Merchants. I will put links down below on where you can find this game. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can know whenever we put out a new video. And we'll see you next time.
Happy playing!